Good morning, everybody. Well, it's good noon. I mean, it's noontime now. It's lunch. I decided I was going to cook this sweet potato casserole. I've never had one of these before, but it looks so good. Look at that. It's got pecans on the top of it. Or praline topping is what it's called, but it's pecans. And it says it must be cooked thoroughly. So I'm heating the oven at 350 degrees. And then I'm going to take this out of the package. It got down to pretty cold last night. I had frost across the grass this morning. But you know, the collards would have survived. And I cut them off. You know, I didn't pull the plants up. So they may grow back. I mean, they may start, you know, like the kale put out more leaves. I don't know. But it says to put it on a baking sheet. You bake it for 1 hour and 15 minutes. You can microwave it, but I think I'd rather fix it in the oven. So evidently you don't oh yeah, you do remove this from the tray. You have to cut through it. Got ice on it. But it's still okay, I mean. Don't want that all over the stove. And evidently it got shook around when it was delivered. That's some of the food that was delivered here from the anonymous giver. So I decided I'd go ahead and cook it. And maybe cook something else to go with it. I mean, I've already got my greens, you know. Already got my greens, so I'm not worried about them. But I don't like the ice on here, so we're going to take that off. Get all this ice off. I don't like that water up there. Here, that's good enough. Yeah, I've never cooked one of these little casseroles, so I'm not sure. I mean, it looks good. Sweet potato casserole. That looks so good. It almost looks like stuffing when you first look at it. It's got sweet potatoes, margarine, soybean oil, vegetable, whatever. It's got a whole list of stuff it's got in it. But anyway, I'm going to put that in the oven and I'm going to cook it for 1 hour and 15 minutes. And I think it's going to be good. Well, my casserole, my sweet potato casserole has been in a 350 oven for an hour and a half. And I wanted to check it. And it looks pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and turn my oven off. I'm going to get a little mat here. I guess you can see it. And I'm going to take it off of the pan, or try to get it off of there, and put it right there. For it's cool, because that pan is hot, and I didn't want to leave it in the pan. I've got mashed potato, or creamed potatoes already made to save time. And now I'm going to come over here and fix my country steak. I got bacon grease in the pan. I've got a little bit of flour. Let's see. I've got my country steak right here. I bought a big package, and the way I do is I separate the big packages and put like two of these steaks in a package and then refreeze it, so I don't have to eat a ton of steak at one time. So that's the way that you can do it as well. Now what I'm going to do is just take my country steak. I'm going to season it with salt, pepper, and garlic salt, a little bit of onion powder, and you might say, well, why didn't I put this in the flour? Well, I'd rather put it on the meat. Okay, why is that not coming out? I'm going to turn it over. Do the same on the opposite side. Salt. Pepper. Garlic. Just a little bit of plain garlic powder. A little bit of paprika. A little bit of onion powder. Now, I'm going to proceed to dip it in my flour. It's just plain flour. Or you can use self-rising. Mine is self-rising. Put it right in the pan. And I probably could have cut those in half just to give them a little bit more room in the pan. Now I had 2 little bell peppers that I picked out of the garden yesterday, and I've just got the seeds out of it, and I'm slicing it in strips. You can just use one medium-sized one or one large one, it doesn't matter. I've got 2 small ones because that's what I had out of the garden. I got a small onion, or half of a medium-sized onion. And I'm just going to cut up. Just slice it basically. Whoop. I like to jump that in my arms, y'all. Slicing it up. I don't want too thick of slices, but that'll do. Find this piece on the floor so I don't step on it. Throw it away. I'm just going to brown it good on both sides. Oh, I didn't want to do that. I want it to stay on there. Put a little bit of olive oil in there because I didn't have much bacon grease. But I love this dish. I mean, I love country steak, cream potatoes, and now I got a casserole, sweet potato casserole, and I've got a little bit of greens that I'm going to put on my dish too. I've just got this to put my steak in as soon as I get it out. My kids always love this too. Although my son would pick the onions out because he wouldn't eat those. Or I'd make sure when I put gravy on his potatoes that he didn't have onions in it. And they like it fried this way and just put it on a sandwich. It's real good. Almost like eating a hamburger, but it's country steak. Yeah, it got down to 29 degrees last night, but nothing really froze. I could have waited on my collards because it's warming back up for another week and it's not going to get down to freezing again. So, you know, usually collards and kale, the first frost really does good for the plants. It causes them to sweeten up a little bit. But mine were real young, so they're sweet anyway. But I could have left them for another week or two. But, you know, because collards and kale will withstand freezing temperatures as long as they're not freezing for 2 or 3 days. Then it might damage the leaves some. Okay, now I'm just going to take these out because they're browned on both sides. They're not done yet. Oops. but they're browned where I want them. I'm going to put in just a little bit more oil. Turn the heat down just a little bit. I'm going to put in some flour, maybe a couple of tablespoons to start with, because I'm not making a great big pan of gravy. Just want a little bit. Put just a tiny bit more. And we're just going to cook that flour, fry it a little bit in that oil. Just a little bit. I'm going to put in a little bit of water. Stir it up good. You might have a few lumps to begin with, but they'll cook out. You can stir it around real good. Get a lot of that out. At this point, well, I'll wait and add my meat back in first. But your gravy will thicken up. So you have to keep adding a little bit of water each time to get it to the point of a gravy consistency. You don't want it too thick. You don't want it real watery. Because with this flour in there, it will thicken up a little bit more. So now at this point, I'm putting my steak pieces back in. Bottom came off of that one. Now I'm going to put in my peppers and my onions. Turn the heat down a little bit. And I'm just going to cover this and simmer it until my onions and my peppers are tender. Well, y'all, I heated up my collards. I'm going to get a spoonful of this casserole. It looks really good. Looks really yummy, and it smells really good too. You know, like I said, I'm giving up, and I'm going to take my mower out after I eat. And I'm going to try to cut down some of that wiregrass along the front toward the street, because it looks terrible. I thought that last night it would have froze enough that it would have got rid of it, because usually if it comes a good hard freeze, it'll just fall over and you don't even know it's there. It looks like it's been cut. Well, that didn't happen last night. It's still standing straight up, so I'm going to have to do something with it. I'm going to put me some potatoes on my plate. Man, this looks so good. Can't wait to dig in. And here's some of this gravy. Just pile it on my potatoes. I want to get some of these peppers and onions. And I'm going to get a piece of my steak. There y'all go. Don't that look good? Oh my goodness, don't that look good? Oh, I'm going to do some good eating in just a few minutes, I tell you. I think I'll get me a little bit more gravy. I love me lots of gravy. Go ahead and cover this back up. But I got to cut into a piece of this. Y'all take a bite of my steak. Don't that look good? All that gooey gravy. Mmm. Hot. Mmm. A little bit hot, y'all. Mmm. That is so good. Some of my mashed potato, my cream potatoes. Mmm. Let's try this sweet potato casserole. Won't that look good? I just got the hiccups. Mmm. Don't be afraid to buy a sweet potato casserole like that. That is winning, y'all. It's got brown sugar, cinnamon, pralines. That's like eating dessert right there. Y'all take another bite. Mmm. Take a bite of my greens, my collard greens. Mmm. And usually when I eat a big meal like this is the only meal I eat for the whole day. I might snack on a little something tonight, but this will be my meal for today, because I didn't eat breakfast. I drank a cup of coffee. But if I fix a big meal like this is the only thing I'm going to eat all day. But I'll tell you what, it's well worth cooking it. And with that, I'm going to go sit down and I'm going to go ahead and eat my dinner, my early dinner tonight. It's a little after 2 o'clock right now. I'm going to go ahead and eat, and then I'm going to get the mower out and see if I can't cut that wiregrass down so it'll look a little bit better in my yard. So y'all have a blessed day, and I'll catch you on the flip side. Bye now. Love y'all. Y'all, fix you some country steak, some collard greens, a sweet potato casserole, and country steak. Oh, it's so good. You'll not be sorry you did it. It is so good.